Hey guys, how you doing? I'm checking out Strikey Sisters on the Switch eShop, which came out on Valentine's Day, but it seems like I'm not gonna do the story right now. It seems like it went under the radar for a lot of people. It's kind of like a, oh boy, what do you call it? Brick Breaker, Arkanoid clone, but with a little bit more going for it than that, obviously. Press A to hit the ball. Hold A to charge a strong attack. Press B to use a magic spell. Destroy all bricks. Defeat the boss. A and B. Alright, we can do that. So anyway, I'm talking about Reggie Fils-Aime leaving Nintendo today. Or not today, but announcing he's leaving Nintendo today. Which is this... What do I got, a charge here? Yeah. This is a big surprise. We didn't hear, oh boy, anything about this happening at all. There were no rumors. Nobody said anything at all. And it was just like, oh, he's leaving in April, which is a big blow to a lot of, oh boy, Nintendo fans because, you know, sure, we don't have daily interactions with Reggie, and it's not like he's a game developer or anything, but he was not just the president of Nintendo America, but he was like a character for a lot of Nintendo fans. He was someone that, like, we joked about and referenced, and if you were looking for, like, as high as response you could get, at least from Nintendo America, that's who you were looking for. You were, Reggie was the guy you were going to get, if he felt like talking, was the guy you're going to get the best answers out of. And over the years, you know, he's become a very important figure in a whole bunch of ways, so to see him go is a very big deal. Doug Bowser has been with Nintendo for a while. He's not somebody new, but not nearly as many people know about Doug and what he's done as compared to Reggie, so he's got some obviously very big shoes to fill. Can I just hit this? Can I just... I can. He's got very big shoes to fill, and I'm sure he will with time, but, oh god, but fans are going to need some time to get to know the guy, and see how he is, like, in a public sort of way. Like, is he going to be out there like Reggie was? Is he going to joke around like Reggie did? I mean, as far as what we've seen, that does seem to be the case. It seems like he's going to be a very, like, front and center kind of guy, and he's more than willing to poke fun at himself. I mean, when your name is when your last name is Bowser, you kind of have to. So there's no avoiding it, and Nintendo's more than or at least he's more than willing to embrace that. So I'm sure they'll utilize that going forward. But yeah, it's the end of an era, and it's been a long era. It was Reggie has been around for 15 years, so he was there for the GameCube days before we got into the Wii. But yeah, Reggie oversaw some of the highest highs that Nintendo ever saw, and some of the lowest lows for that matter too. So through thick and thin, he has been there. And, you know, when he first came about, he said he was a Nintendo fan, but he obviously had things to learn, and there's no doubt over these years he has learned those things. And I'm sure he's been grooming Doug for a while now to replace him. It's not like, you know, Reggie yesterday was like, oh, I'm going to leave, that's it. So, like I said, I'm sure he's going to be more than capable of taking on the job, but will he be as endearing as Reggie? That I don't know. And, you know, part of that is not because of Reggie being, like, hugely personable or anything like that, but it's because of how fans just embrace the character of Reggie, the personality of Reggie, or, you know, made him larger than life through a whole bunch of memes, and that gave birth to what Nintendo did with Reggie moving forward. Like, they addressed memes in their videos that came out, Nintendo Directs, and stuff that was shown at E3, and the way Reggie talked in certain presentations. He had lines that grew to become popular with fans, and Nintendo would embrace that stuff and utilize it. And, you know, sometimes you're like, oh, that's a little cheesy, or oh, that's funny, you know, whatever. For good and for bad, they embrace it, and I like that. Reggie was a really good spirit about that stuff. I actually had the pleasure of meeting Reggie. I mean, oh, god damn it. I'm doing terrible. I met Reggie a whole bunch of times, obviously, That's terrible. One brick left. One brick left. I met Reggie a whole bunch of times in my career. I've been to a lot of events when he's there. I've talked to him and interviewed him and a whole bunch of stuff. So, it's been a great experience every single time. And as just a Nintendo fan, first and foremost, it's just cool to be, you know, in the same room as the head honcho for Nintendo of America. It was, you know, very awesome. Got to see him speak at a whole bunch of events, but there was one time in particular where I met him, which was when I was first getting started with Go Nintendo. Like, I don't remember if I had moved over to Go Nintendo. I must have. Yeah, it must have been Go Nintendo, because I used to run a blog spot, or a blogger page, before I started Go Nintendo, because the blogger page got really popular and kind of outgrew what you could do over there, so I needed my own spot. So I moved from Blogger to a regular site, which is now Go Nintendo, and that was 8 billion years ago. But in the very early days, before I had like any connections in the industry at all, Reggie was going to be at Nintendo NY, the Nintendo World Store, back when that's what it used to be called. And it was basically like, I don't remember if it was for something other than just a meet and greet. I'm pretty sure at that time the Wii had been revealed, at least in name. I don't know if we had all the details or anything like that. I know it wasn't out yet, that's without a doubt. Because I'm pretty sure we learned the name the day before I met Reggie. Because I had made a shirt that said Wii on it the night before, like an iron-on shirt that, you know, I printed something out off my printer and made like a crappy shirt out of it. And I remember Reggie commenting on it. So at this time, again, I had never met Reggie. He didn't know who the hell I was. He didn't know we'd be interacting in the future or anything like that. I didn't meet him and I was like, hey, I run a blog, I do this, that, or anything. I was just meeting him as a fan. So, we were at the event and I went with some friends, and I cannot tell you how kind and warm and welcoming he was. There were a lot of people there. There were a ton. And he wasn't rushing anybody along, and he was more than willing to talk to you and hear what you had to say, and, you know, made you feel like you were important. Took a picture with all of us. I'm sure I still have the picture somewhere. It might be on my Facebook if I remember correctly. But it was just such a cool experience to have. And at that time, you know, Reggie was not new, but not someone who had grown to his status that he has now with Nintendo fans. So back then I just got a really good feeling about the guy, you know, as far as a fan perspective goes. And from that moment on, I was excited to see what he was going to do and had a good feeling about him. And I think, you know, by and large, sure, he does his usual PR marketing speak and all that, but you know, that's his job. He can't just flat out answer certain questions, and he's got to be wishy-washy sometimes. That comes with the territory, unfortunately. So I know there were moments of frustration with fans, but he did what he had to do, and I think he did an excellent job, and he will definitely be missed. Besides meeting him in person at that one event and other press events, I have to thank Reggie personally, because I don't remember how long ago it was, but there were, this was, Jesus. Nintendo was having or maybe Nintendo wasn't having a tough time. I think it might have just been that I was covering the news and I was like, my God, there's just so much negativity about everything. And I did, like, I don't want to call out outlets, so I'm not going to do that, but there were outlets who were doing things like the Week of Hate, where they would have nothing but articles about how this game sucks, and that game sucks, and this developer sucks, and that company sucks. And I was like, ugh, this is so embarrassing. Like, I don't understand why people are really into this. And then outlets would be like, the Week of Hate was our most popular week ever on the website in our entire history. And I was like, Jesus Christ, this is terrible. So I set out to do the complete opposite. I was doing the Week of Love. And I did a whole bunch of features with developers and publishers and who else? Just notable personalities in the game industry. And my pie in the sky hope was to get Reggie involved with it, but I was like, there's no chance of that happening. Well, so I just did the series and I talked to the people who I was good friends with and people I knew I could get comments from and people I was pretty sure I could reach out to and they would help out. So I had some... I had some notable people in there. But... after I think it was like a 2-week thing that I did. After a week and a half, I got a comment from someone at Nintendo, like a PR person that I had worked with, and they were like, "Hey, we really like that series you're doing, and we wanted to know if you would like Reggie to be a part of it." And I was like, "What?" They're like, "Yeah, Reggie really enjoys what you've been doing, and he would love to write a feature for it. If you don't mind." I was like, "If I don't mind? Are you kidding me? I would love to." So that's what I did, and Reggie wrote up a whole blog for Go Nintendo, just talking about games and love of games and Nintendo in general. Such a cool moment. One of the coolest things I've ever been a part of with Go Nintendo. To think that, you know, the highest of high as far as Nintendo America goes was reading Go Nintendo. I was like, yeah, I want to work with you. I think I like what you're doing, and I want to put some kind words out there. I could not believe it, and I still am just as flabbergasted today. So I've had lots of cool interactions like that with Reggie. So I am certainly, as a fan, going to see him, or going to be sad to see him go. Somebody that I've worked with, I'm honored to have worked with him, and I hope to build a relationship with Mr. Bowser as well. Mr. Bowser sounds so funny. I have met Doug and talked to him a couple times, but certainly not to any degree that I have, as I did with Reggie. So yeah, like I said in the beginning, the end of an era. It seems like fans are very sad to see Reggie go, and they're being very kind about it online, which is great. And they're also warmly welcoming Mr. Bowser, so that's good too. I'm eager to see if they sneak Reggie into one more Nintendo Direct or some sort of video presentation before he leaves the company. We obviously had the... video that Reggie put out earlier today, speaking to the fans, which just goes to show, you know, how important he was to Nintendo fans. That you couldn't just have the guy announce that he's leaving and then that's it. So for him to work on something like that, just another little cool thing that he did. So we'll see how it goes. It's the start of a new chapter, and I think it's going to go just fine, and I'm sure Bowser can fill those shoes no problem. He'll just take a little while to get into the groove, and then we have to do our job as fans by putting together memes and picking up on every little quirk and, you know, every little thing that Bowser does that we can turn into something. You know, sometimes it'll be playfully mocking, sometimes it'll just be flat out funny, whatever the case. And I'm sure Doug is ready to embrace it wholeheartedly because he has to. He's seen what Nintendo fans do, and even more so than that, gamers at large, because, you know, even for people that don't closely follow Nintendo, if they follow video games, they certainly knew who Reggie was, and I would imagine the same thing is going to happen with Doug. So once April hits, we're going to be on our way, and we'll see what comes of it. This E3 is going to be a big moment for Doug, so we'll see what happens. And like I said, I'm very excited. So, if you have any kind words or thoughts about Reggie or anything like that you'd like to share, hit up the comments and let me know. And I will see you guys in the next video.